So when you first started Prikrama, we didn't see Giriraj anywhere. But here you see Giriraj is very tall and proud. And today we're getting special darshan. Because you see, Giriraj is so shocked. All these people came all the way from Mumbai, leaving their air-conditioned house and nice car and everything, and they came here to my Giriraj. All his hairs, you see all his hairs are standing on end. He's so shocked. So we'll sing a nice, that song that's very favorite of all the devotees. If you have your devices, then again we'll sing Brajajan. Sri Radhe Brajajan Manna Sukhakari Radhe Shama Shama Sham Sri Radhe Murmukutta Makara Krita Kundala Gale Vajanti Mala Charananupura Rasala Radhe Shama 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 Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Oh Sri Radhe Brajajanna Manna Sukhakari Radhe Shama Shama Sham Sri Radhe Sundara Vadana Kamaladala Lojana Banki Chittavana Hari Banki Chittavana Mohana Bamsi Bihari Radhe Shama 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 Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Sri Radhe Brajajanna Manna Sukhakari Radhe Shama Shama Shama. Vrindavan re denu charabe gopi jana manahari Sri Govardhan Dari Radhe Shama Shama Sham Sri Govardhan Dari Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Sri Radhe Brajajanna Manna Sukhakari Radhe Shama Shama Sham Radhe Radha Krishna Muniya Bhado Gora Upa Avatari Radha Krishna Muniya Bhado Gora Dharma Prachari Radhe Shama Shama Shama. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Shri Radhe, Krishna Sukakari Radhe Shama Shama Shama. तुम बिना मेरे और न कोई नाम रूप अवतारे सदानंद में बलिहारी राधे श्याम श्याम श्याम. Narayan Balihari Radhe Shama Shama Shama. Narayan Balihari Radhe Shama Shama. Oh Radhe Shama, Radhe Shama, Radhe Shama, Radhe Shama. Oh Radhe Shama, Radhe Shama, Radhe Shama, Radhe Shama. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Oh Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. Oh Sri Giriraj Maharaj ki. Hare Krishna. Somehow, I don't feel as happy any other place as I do sitting here by the side of Govardhan. Our Raghunath Swami, he prays, Nija Nikati Nivasam Dehi Govardhanatvam. That, oh Govardhan, please give me residence just close by your side. Nija Nikati Nivasam Dehi Govardhanatvam. So we're sitting here just by the side of Govardhan. And you started early this morning, so if I would have been here, I would have pointed out to you, you can watch how the stones of Govardhan change their color throughout the day. In the morning they're different deep colors, and now they're becoming lighter colors. But all day long, sometime you'll see, just looks like the rocks are made out of, especially when you go around the other side, looks like the rocks are made out of silver. Very, very special place, Govardhan. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya-Manubhistam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dharati Svapadantikam. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Panchakalpatrubhyascha kripasindubhevaccha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So we're sitting here at this beautiful place called Govinda Kund. One of the most beautiful kunds in Braj. Especially you see from the other side with the beautiful kund and Giriraj standing tall and proud behind. And we're sitting here under a very, very ancient Kadamba tree. Because our Keli Kadambas, they grow very, very slowly, so I have no idea how old this tree is. Huge, old Kadamba tree. Sometimes, maybe some of the Brishvasis will show us, sometimes you see the leaf just like a hand, like this, no? But sometimes he makes little cups for Krishna to take his butter. Kadampat kadona, dadapiye sham salona. Sometimes the kadamba flowers just make a little, instead of coming flat like this, they come like a little dona. And there was a special mantra when Mahaprabhu was doing Govardhan Prikrama. You can learn it it's also in Srimad Bhagavatam, is it Venugit or Gopigit? I guess Venugit. And it's also there in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now, whatever language you have, you can find that verse there and learn this. This is Mahaprabhu's Prikrama mantra. And maybe some of you already know. Hantaya Madriya Bala Haridasa Bharjo Yad Rama Krishna Charanam Sparasam Pramoda Manam Tanoti Sahago Ganayos Yat Pani Yasuya Vasakanda Rakanda Mulai. So in Sanskrit, Hanta means Hanta. Hantayam Adri. Adri we know means hill. Hantayam Adri Abala. Now, the gopis, they're speaking amongst themselves, talking about Krishna's flute. So, anyway, again, I'm not saying it, but legend has it that the women are the weaker sex. So they're talking amongst themselves. They say, Obala, Abala, oh girls. This hill, Haridasa Bharjo, he's not just Haridas, he's Haridas Avarya, the most bestest devotee of Krishna. Hantaya Madriyavala Haridasa Bharjo Yad Rama Krishna Charanam Sparasam Pramoda. In Braj, if we talk about Rama Krishna, we're talking about Krishna and Balaram. So Yad Rama Krishna Charanam Sparsham. We heard this word sparsh where in Bhagavad Gita? Vatra Sparshas Tukontiya. So he's getting the touch. Sparsh means to touch or to contact. He's getting the contact, he's getting the touch of Krishna and Balaram. They're running all over the hill. Pramoda, just like you all have a friend named Pramod. No, Pramod means joyful. He's very joyful because he's getting the touch of Krishna and Balaram. It's lotus footprints. Other reasons they're joyful. Manam tanoti sahago ganayos tayoryat. Because he's serving the Vaishnavas, he's joyful. Manam tanoti sahago. First, actually, he's serving the cows. We should serve cows. Ganayos, the Gopagan, the cowherd boys, the Vaishnavas, the devotees. So he's serving the cows, he's serving devotees. Tayoryat, those two. Last is coming Lord. First he serves cows and Vaishnavas, then we become qualified to serve the Lord. Tayor, they're coming last. And how he's serving? Pani yasuya vasakanda rakanda mulai. So we know Pani means water, but also Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says madhu. There's so many, just like we were just seeing a beehive somewhere on the way here, hanging from the tree filled with so much madhu. And Vishwanath Chakravarti says not only madhu, but amras, mango juice, and pilu ras. We were seeing all the pilu trees yesterday, pilu ras. Pani yasuya vasa. So it must means grass, two types of grass. One to make the cows very fatty and give lots of milk, and this durva grass that we use for doing the puja. So he's giving those two grasses. Pani Suyavasa Kandara. He has so many caves. Our dear friend Madhavananda, he did a whole article just on the caves of Govardhan. The only one we can see a little bit. If you go down, when you go down to Punchari, if you ask for Raghava Pandit's cave, from outside you can see. In old days, when there wasn't so many thousands of people doing Prikrama, And the Baba was very friendly. We used to go down inside this little cave. Now you just, from the outside, you, little hallway and your little window is there. You can see the cave of Raghava Pandit. But there's many caves on Govardhan that we don't see with our eyes. And even Madhavan had found it down by you took your breakfast at Bhaktivedanta Ashram, right? So you saw there was a temple, that's Dani Rai Mandir. So the little Brijbasi boys, they told us inside that temple there's a cave also. Because Mahaprabhu, accepting that Govardhan is not different from Krishna himself, he never walked on the hill, so his followers we don't follow. But Brijbasi, you see them walking around, and monkeys you see everywhere, and deer. If you're coming early morning, maybe you can see some nilgai also. So many caves are there. So when it's too hot, the Kahor boys can go inside the cave. When it's too cold, like early this morning, they can go inside the cave. Radha and Krishna perform so many intimate pastimes in those caves. That's why Giriraj is so dear. That he's hiding Radha and Krishna the most intimate. He's so dear to Krishna. Kanda Mule. Kanda means Kanda Mule, just like if you come here in Kartik time, then all the push carts are filled with muli. Muli means roots. Kanda Mule, fruits and roots. Because Vishvasi boys, you see, 24 hours a day, they're hungry. So Govardhan, he's supplying fruits and roots throughout the day for all the boys. See Giriraj Maharaj ki. So that village you went through before you came here, that was Anyor. That's where the Anukut festival took place. Because we know Krishna, he stopped the puja of Indra, and he started the puja of Govardhan. And that's where this Govindakund comes in. Because we know that after the Govardhan puja, then Indra, he became very upset. He realized that Krishna stopped his puja. He became very angry. And he began to hurl insults at Krishna. He said, this guy is very talkative fellow. But our Acharyas explained, if you see the Sanskrit from another way, it means that whatever he says will always be spoken. Just like one of the first verses we learn of Bhagavad Gita, Dehinosmin yata dehe komaram javanam jara tatra dehantara prapti dhira tatna numuyate. So Krishna spoke this 5,000 years ago, we're still speaking. He said he's the lowest of mankind. But you see from another way, it means that everybody else goes down before him. He's, what do you say, not simple, but simple is a nice word. What do you want to insult someone, they're very simpleton, you know? But it means that Krishna is very innocent. Krishna is very innocent. So whatever curse he was speaking, it all, by the grace of Goddess Saraswati, all became praise of Krishna. So he told the Samvardika cloud, which is needed when there's dissolution by water. He said, you go there and you destroy this Braj and Brijbasis and their cows. Such a horrible thing he was going to do. And Samvardika clouds were a little doubtful. He said, no, I'll come behind on my Airavata. So you go. So all of a sudden, all over Braj, these huge black clouds came. And even before the rain comes, just like we were talking the other day in Bandirvan, I forgot to mention the first cool breeze began to blow. Cool breeze began to blow. Then it became almost dark like midnight, such black clouds appeared over Braj. And then rain began falling, and cold winds. Even pieces of ice were falling. And everything was just, after a while you couldn't tell high ground from low ground. And everyone was in great distress. And when the Brishbasis are in great distress, they don't know anyone else except Krishna. They all ran there. Krishna, Krishna, Mahabhaga, Tvamnatham Gokulam Prabhu, Tratum Arasi Devana, Kupitad Bhaktavatsala. That Krishna, Krishna, Mahabhaga, oh greatly fortunate Krishna. Tvamnatham, you are the Lord. And Prabhu of Gokul. Tvamnatham Gokulam Prabhu. Tratum Arasi, please save us. Deva. This Deva, he's become angry. Kupita. Kupita means anger. Kupita. Bhaktevyo Bhakta Vatsala. And you're very kind to your devotees, so please save us. Please save us. The Krishna realized this is the work of Indra. So he decided to teach Indra a lesson. So he called all the Brishbasis over. And Sanatana Goswami says he didn't lift on his little finger, he lifted with his left hand the Govardhan hill. And he called all the Brishbasis underneath. Now in Ananda Vrindavan Champu and Gopal Champu, we find so many wonderful details. Because Sanatana Goswami, he lifted like this, but then he called all the Brishbasis, now come underneath with all your cows. So they all came underneath the hill. And Madhya Yasoda was looking at Krishna holding this hill with his left hand. If we want to do something hard, we'll do it with our right hand. We can't even if I told you just to hold your right hand like that, after 5 minutes you get tired, But Krishna lifted the whole hill with his left hand, and Madhya Yasoda was going, So Krishna put it on his little pinky. Look, Ma, it's no problem. Just like when we're learning to ride our bike, our mother's in the kitchen, she's looking out the window, she's washing the dishes, looking out the window. And we go, look, Ma, no hands. She says, look, Ma, it's no problem. And then, most amazing thing from Gopal Champu and Nanda Vrindavan Champu. And just like in all our pictures, we just see underneath the hill, there's just dirt, right? In all our ISKCON pictures. But Nanda Vrindavan Champu, Gopal Champu, they saw beautiful gardens, green lawns with beautiful flowering trees and fruit trees everywhere, and lakes filled with water, and beautiful chatris everywhere, and palaces. They saw a whole place underneath the hill. All the Brishbasis were astounded. Where did this come from? They were all shocked. They were just astounded. Beautiful places were there underneath the hill. And the Brishbasis in that Aniur, they tell the story that because in that village somewhere there's a Dauji temple, very beautiful Dauji temple. And that kund that you went around, that was called Sankarshan Kund, after Dauji. Just leave it. So Balaram, he was a little upset that Krishna is holding the hill and everybody's talking about how wonderful Krishna is and I'm the big brother. So he thought what to do. So he became, they tell the story, I've seen it anywhere, but they tell the story, that he became Anantashesh, Sankarshan, and he wrapped himself around the place where the hill was, and that way no water came inside. So that's why that's called Sankarshan Kund. So this was actually a very special pastime that Krishna manifested just to give mercy to the Brishbasis. Because now for 7 days and 7 nights, everyone was just seeing the beautiful Mukha Chandra of Krishna, moon-like face of Krishna. 7 days and 7 nights. Because nobody saw Krishna all the time. Early in the morning, his mother and father and then his close friends come to help him bathe and get dressed, and they tell close friends take the breakfast together. And then he goes through the village and everyone sees him and all the girls run to the top, all the gopis, they run to the tops of the houses and see Krishna. Then all day long he's with the cowherd boys in the field and with the cows. And then again in the evening he comes into the village and all the gopis run onto the roof. And I had a wonderful friend named Shamdas in Vallabh Sampradaya. He used to sing the most beautiful Braj songs. He just used to sing this song. It almost sounds like you can hear the way he sang it. It sounds like you can hear the cows going clickety clickety, you know. Dakada dickety dickety da, dakada dickety dickety da. Kisi ko ha, kisi ko na. Then all the gopis are coming to the roof, and Krishna is giving little messages to them. Kisi ko ha, kisi ko na. So some he's telling no, not like last night I didn't come. Tonight I'll definitely meet you. And some to the other, he say, yes, I will definitely come and meet you tonight. So kisi ko ha, kisi ko na. You can just hear the cows wandering through the streets, you know. So then he's inside the house, Nanda Baba see him, and all his friends see him, then he takes rest, supposedly. And then all night the gopis are with him. But nobody's with Krishna all the time. But every Brishbasi is desiring that, just to be with Krishna all the time. So Krishna manifested this pastime. We thought it was for chastising Indra, but it's actually just for giving mercy to all the Brishbasis. 7 days and 7 nights, they were just sitting there seeing the beauty of Krishna's moonlight face. And they didn't feel tired, not like you. They didn't feel hungry. Of course, you just took breakfast. That's probably why you're sleeping. All right. They didn't feel thirsty. They didn't have any problem with it. They were just relishing for 7 days and 7 nights. After a while, Mother Yasoda said, Lala, you want some makan? You want some butter, Lala? He said, no, it's okay, Maya. And Mother Mangal said, wait a minute. You speak for yourself. yeah, bring that makan. And then Mother Yasoda was massaging Lala's arm. And all the cowboys, they were putting their sticks. They were thinking they're helping him, you know. And he says, it's all right, Bhaiya. He just, Govardhan just staying there by his own power, you know. It's no problem. He'll just do a loop-to-loop if he wants to, you know. There's no problem. And Mother Mangal said, look, I'm chanting all my Brahminical mantras. By my Brahminical tejas, Govardhan is staying on Lala's hand. Don't worry about anything. So finally Indra came and he was throwing his thunderbolts. Nothing was happening. Torrents of rain, nothing was happening. Then he suddenly saw what was going on. And he went, oops. And he told all of those, he realized now he's playing with fire, you know. So he told all those clouds, get out of here quick, make yourself scarce, you know. Get out of here. And he went back up to Indraloka. So all the clouds went away. And the wind stopped blowing and the water wasn't there. And then Krishna, now you come out from outside of the hill. And all the Brishbasis came out, and Krishna placed the hill back where it was before. And now he became known as Giridhari. Giriraj ki. So, meanwhile, in Indraloka, Indra was very upset. He was just sitting on his throne, sometimes leaning on the sun, sometimes leaning. And Mother Sachi, she became worried, very worried. Because, you know, there's nothing that drives the woman more crazy is when the man becomes quiet. There's nothing that drives the man more crazy is when the woman doesn't stop talking. But, but there's a lesson to be learned in this, because actually, women, when they have a problem, they talk about it, and it's been scientifically proved by talking about their problems, they produce certain hormones that make them feel very happy. And when a man has a problem, he can't go to his wife to talk about his problem. He's just thinking about it, you know. So you have to, if you want, you'll solve 50% of your marital problems by this. When she talks, just listen. And don't interrupt her. And if you want to start a fight, then just say, it's not that bad. Then you've got a fight on your hands. Because she feels bad and you're saying she has no right to feel bad. You're negating her feelings. You just sympathize with her, just listen peacefully. Then she'll feel happy, and because you didn't interrupt her, you didn't tell her it's not that bad. And whatever you do, don't give the solution. They don't want a solution. I have a problem. If I go to Attapur now, and I have this problem with my computer, he'll give me a solution. If a man has a problem, he wants a solution. But women just wanted you to listen, that's all. What are you going to do? The war is going on, the banks are about to fail, the economy is going to crash. What can I do about it? Nothing, just listen. But when a man has a problem, he becomes quiet. He's a man. He can't go to his wife to solve his problem. He's got to solve it himself, But women are very intuitive. They know some problem. It's there. So they come, oh, honey, what's the matter? Will you leave me alone? Just let him be quiet. He'll solve his problem. When he solves the problem, he'll feel very happy and he'll love you like anything because you didn't bother him while he was solving his problem. So Mother Sachi, she's thinking, oh, his mood kharab ho gaya, mujhe maarne jayenge. So she called Brihaspati because she can't go, but Guru can go. He said, I don't know, he doesn't eat, he doesn't sleep, he doesn't come home, he doesn't talk to me. Something's the matter, So Brihaspati went there and he said, what's the matter? So he explained to him what happened. He said, now you really blew it. Now Krishna won't even see you from the corner of the corner of the corner of the corner of his eye. You've really blown it this time. Best thing is you get Surbi. And our Acharyas explained that in this material world there's a planet where there's Surbi cows. So you get that Surbi cow, because she's a cow and she's a Vaishnavi, and Krishna loves cows and Vaishnavas, so this is our position. We're great offenders. We can't go to Krishna directly. We have to take shelter of a nice devotee, like Srila Prabhupada or his disciples. They can intervene for us, So he said, you take Surbi and you go there and beg forgiveness. Then maybe there's some chance, So Indra got on his Airavata and he got called Surbi and he came back down here. Meanwhile, Krishna was on his inspection tour. He went with all the cowherd boys and they're wandering around Govardhan Hill seeing what damage had been done, So we see that everyone's, following their leader. Krishna said, yada yada charti shreshtas, whatever the great man does, the common man will follow. So we see as soon as there's a tsunami or the earthquake, then the chief minister or prime minister flies in his helicopter, They're following Krishna. Krishna was on inspection tour with all the cowherd boys. All of a sudden, the cows, because he was with all the cows and the cowherd boys, and the cows, they saw this huge elephant. Now it's described that Airavata, he not only has one trunk, he has many, many trunks. I was just in Thailand, they show him with 3 heads even. And all the temples, you see beautiful statues of Indra riding on this elephant with 3 heads and 3 trunks. But anyway, in our Krishna book it says he has many, many trunks. So all those cows, they took one look at that elephant. Just like in old days, we used to have when I was president, we would get an elephant to go in the procession for Prabhupada's disappearance, And we'd have the bullock cart come from the Goshala with all the halava prasad to distribute. But as soon as those bulls saw that elephant, bulls, they just go forward, they don't care about anything. But as soon as they saw that elephant, so all the cows saw this elephant, not just one trunk, many trunks, and their eyes already big, they got even bigger, and all the ears are like this, the ears went like that, and then they all began to run. You ever see cows run? Oh, you guys live in big cities like Bombay, Hyderabad. You never see cows. When cows run, first of all, they raise their tail in the sky as a warning to the other cows, danger, danger, danger. And then they kick backwards, if danger's coming behind. They run like this. So all the cows put their tails in the sky and they kicking backward, they all ran off, and all the cowherd boys ran after them. Meanwhile, Indra came, he got down off his elephant, And the king of heaven fell in the dust of Braj. Don't be afraid to fall in this dust. This is so special dust. Even the king of heaven fell in this dust. And Krishna walked by and didn't even see him from the corner of the corner of the corner of the corner of his lotus eye. Then he thought, oh, I'm in big trouble. So, then he sent Surbi. Please go there, do something. I'm in big trouble now. So just on the other, exactly on the other side of this hill, you'll see a beautiful place called Surbikund, if you know where to go. If you go by the nice forest path, you'll come to it. Otherwise, you have to come all the way in to see Surbikund. But all our offenses are forgiven at Surbikund. This is, Surbi told Krishna, actually, he's your devotee. He became a little proud. And you don't like pride in your devotees. You know, we've heard this over and over again. Still, we're very proud. But anyway, just like sometimes a child in the womb, he kicks the mother, but the mother never feels bad. But the children, they do so many nonsense things, the parents get so upset, but they still love the children. So like that, he's like your little child, you should forgive him. So then, Krishna decided to forgive Indra. So they came over to this side, and Airavata, he went up to the heavenly planets to get that Akash Ganga, not this Ganga here where you and me and sinful people are bathing, but that Akash Ganga where only devas and pious people are bathing. He got that Ganga in his trunk. And Surbi, she stood on the hill and she began to pour milk onto Krishna. And the elephant was bathing Krishna with this Akash Ganga. And all beautiful Abhishek was going on. And all the devas came. And just like we were saying yesterday, the Gandharvas were playing, singing beautiful songs. The Kinnaras were playing beautiful music. All the Apsaras were dancing very beautifully. And the Brahmins were chanting all the Vedic mantras with perfect rhyme and reason and rhythm. And beautiful bathing ceremony. All the demigods came, and the Saptarishis came and brought beautiful lotus flowers. And Chandrama also gave her gift, and the sun also gave some gift. Everyone was, just praising Krishna. And all that water formed this beautiful kund here. So then after the bathing ceremony, they dried Krishna off and gave him new cloth, and they sat him down. And then Indra took a crown and he crowned Krishna as Govinda. Because till now he was known as Gopal. From this date he became known as Govinda. And in Gopal Champuk, Jiva Goswami explains what is the meaning. Just like we know in the end of Loi Bazaar, there's one shop, the proprietor is Narendra. Even the signs are in Russian language now. Not just Hindi and English, but Russian also. So Nar, Indra, the Indra amongst the Nar, the Indra amongst the human being, means the king. Yogendra, the chief of all the yogis. Mahendra, like that. So Govind means the king of the cow. Now we know all the 33 crore demigods live in the body of the cow. If Krishna becomes king of the cow, he becomes king of Indra and all the demigods automatically. So he got the name Govind. And then they started this Artik ceremony. We have these little brass deeps, but they had gold deeps with beautiful jewels in them, and silver-handled chamaras, and golden-handled peacock fans with so many jewels embedded in them, and conch shells encrusted with silver, with rubies and diamonds and sapphires, and such opulent Artik paraphernalia. They were doing the Artik of Krishna. And the Brahmins were singing all these beautiful songs in perfect rhyme and rhythm, Sahasra Sirsa Purusha. They were chanting very nicely. And Krishna was sitting there with this crown, and he was just nodding his head like this. And everyone thought, oh, now Krishna is pacified. He's accepted our worship. And then all the demigods, they bowed down and went away. Meanwhile, all the cowherd boys came back, and they saw Krishna sitting there with this big crown. They saw all this opulent artik paraphernalia. So they picked it up, and they began to play artik. They just picked up, and they weren't even, singing Vedic stutis. They were just singing their little Brishbasi songs, And little children, they don't necessarily sing on tune, The devas, the Gandharvas are singing so sweetly, but Brishbasi, they just sing, can't even carry a tune. Arati Kunja Bihari Ki Sri Giridhari Krishna Murari Ki. And Krishna was just laughing and laughing. And all the devas were up in the clouds. They looked down and said, Krishna was just officially accepting our artik. He's actually accepting the artik of these Brishbasis. We don't have a pinch of love for Krishna like these Brishbasis. He said he's actually accepting. That was just official. Just like they make a new flyover in the city, So the mayor comes, he puts on a plastic smile for all the newspapers, He cuts the ribbon, was very inauspicious. To cut, you don't want something sharp when you're inaugurating something. But anyway, that's what they do in the West, and now it started picking it up here, Cuts the ribbon, and, it's all official. He'd rather be on the beach, drinking his martini, but he has to worry about the vote, so he's there. So, but this was, he was actually accepting. Meanwhile, Nanda Baba and all the elder Brishbasis came, because they heard something funny is going on in Govardhan. Gold and silver and ruby and diamond. So, oh my God, first he's stealing butter, now what's he up to? So they came there, and all the cowherd boys looked up, they saw Nanda Baba and all the elders are there. And Nanda Baba said, where you got all this gold and silver and ruby and diamond and pearl? Baba, we just found it. Yeah, right, you just found all this silver and gold and pearl, diamond. And then Mother Mangal piped up. He said, no, Baba, I saw everything, Baba. They didn't see, Baba, because this elephant came, Baba, not just one trunk, but many trunks. I never saw an elephant like that. And all the cows just ran away, and everybody ran after the cows. But I'm lame, so I couldn't run, so I stayed here in the bushes. I saw it happen, And then this guy got off of the elephant, and I swear to God, Sach Borum, Jutne Borum, Baba, this guy had eyes all over his whole body, Baba. And he bowed down with his crown in the dust, and Lala didn't even look at him, Baba. Lala didn't even look at him. Then this cow came, Baba. Whoa, Baba, I never saw a cow like that, Baba. And she started talking to Lala. And then they came over here, and the elephant went up in the sky somewhere, and he came back, began pouring water on Lala, and that cow began to pour milk on Lala. I saw everything, Baba. They didn't see, Baba. They went after the cows, but I saw everything, Baba. And then they did this artik, and they had used all this opulent paraphernalia, and they were singing. Boy, Baba, I never saw instruments like that in my life. And they were singing songs. Baba, I never heard singing like that. And these girls came. Whoa, Baba, I never saw girls like that, Baba. And they were dancing, And then afterwards, they all bowed down and went away. Then the boys came back. They found everything. We just found it like that, Baba. Such Borum, deep name Borum. I crossed my heart up today. Then the voice said, Nanda, deep as the clouds, a voice came. Nanda, now you crown Krishna as Govinda. So Nanda Baba took that crown. Now this is the real crowning. This is with love. Nanda Baba crowned him as Govinda. So from that till then he was Gopal. From that day he became Govinda. And the place where all the water collected from the Abhishek, that became known as Govinda Kund. Bhakti Ratnakar says, whoever takes some of this water on his head, then he gets Govinda Prem. Yeah. This is my friend Vishnu. Govardhan Basi, Govindakon Basi. So that's the story of this Govindakon. Right behind me there's a little place here. The actual place where Madhavendra Puri was sitting was a little further behind me. But you guys are on Prikrama. We have a lot. But anyway, you remember the story. This is Madhavendra Puri's, in honor of Madhavendra Puri sitting here and discovering the beautiful deity of Gopal, who was placed. You saw that white temple. That's the new one. Now, if you look, you see some ruins of the old temple. So you have a big long Prikrama to go. So I know you're all tired. You think, well, this guy's going to shut up. But anyway. Bolo Sri Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. And very important to do Govardhan Prikrama. We know that Prabhupada in his last days, he was begging the devotees to take him on Prikrama, but it wasn't possible. So we're all doing Prikrama on behalf of Srila Prabhupada. And certainly you will get Srila Prabhupada's blessings. So I won't take more of your time. I'll just tell you that if you go this way, there's a nice forest path that goes down this way. Then you come out at Naval Kund, and on the other side is Apsara Kund. And then you take darshan of Putri Kalauta and continue your Prikrama. Hare Krishna.
इसमें दान दबा देना मंदिर का.
Think about Radha Kund and Sham Kund? Hare Krishna. The border?
सबको बांट दूंगा यहीं से लेंगे सब. अभी कथा बाकी है तो कथा बाकी है और कथा बाकी है.
So the other day we were at Bahulavan, and we know from Bahulavan Mahaprabhu came to toward Govardhan, and he came to a village called Aritagram. As soon as he was lost in ecstasy, I explained how he wasn't going by AC bus and car like us. He was going by his 2 feet with his hands raised in the sky saying, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. But when he heard that villager tell his servant Balabhadra that this is a Ritagram, he came back to his external consciousness. And he asked everybody, where's Radhakund and Shamakund? And nobody could tell him. Now why did he think of Radhakund and Shamakund hearing a Ritagram? Because the original name of that place was Aristagram, named after Aristasura, who came in the form of a bull. Now we know Aristasura was a big demon, and Radhakund we heard is a very sweet Madhurya Ras place. So what does Aristasura have to do with Radhakund? What happened was Krishna had just got dressed for doing Rasa Leela with the gopis. When he got the news that this Aristasura was terrorizing the Brishvasis. You thought this terrorism was a new thing, but this has been going on since the last 5,000 years. This was Arista bin Laden. So he tightened his belt, he flapped his arms, and then he put his hand on his friend's shoulder. He wasn't at all concerned. And Aristasura came charging, he grabbed him by the horns, smashed him on the ground, and stepped on him like a wet sponge, and passing stool and urine simultaneously went to the kingdom of death. And then he told Radharani and the gopis, all right, now we can do Ras. And Radharani said, you have made a big sin, a big pop. How we can be associated with you? Huh? He said, what pop did I do? You killed a bull. This is a big sin. It wasn't a bull, he was a demon in the form of a bull. May have been in the form of a bull. May have been a demon, but he was in the form of a bull. But he was actually a demon. It doesn't matter. Purnamasi told us that one time Indra killed this demon, but actually he was a Brahmin. He got reaction. You remember in Srimad Bhagavatam, that old lady coughing blood with tuberculosis came chasing after him. He got reaction. So Krishna said, what do I have to do? So Radharani, her Gopi Sakhi's consultant, you will have to take bath at all the sacred places of the universe. Are, that will take a long time. How can I be away from you girls for so long? I will call all the sacred places in one place and take my bath. And Gopis said, we don't believe in your magic, Shamsundar. Don't try to fool us. And Krishna played on his flute, and all the sacred places of the universe came and bowed before him. And Krishna took his right foot and he stomped a hole in the ground, and he told all the places to give their introduction, chant their mantra, and pour their water in his kund. So everyone came forward and chanted their mantra. They poured their water in Krishna's kund. And Krishna, without even any words, he was showing the gopis. Because when we have love for one another, we don't need words. Just like when we're upset with someone, we yell at them, right? They're standing right in front of us. But we're screaming because our hearts have gone far away. But when we love one another, sometimes we just whisper, psh, 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 or sometimes without even words, just by our eyes. So Krishna, just by his eyes, he was showing the gopis, see? I told you, they're coming, see? Then he took his bath, and he said, now you come in the water, we'll enjoy jalakeli, water pastimes. And Radharani Sakhi said, this water is contaminated with your sin. How we can come in this water? We're going to make our own kund. So there was a place where Ristasura had dug his hoof into the ground. So Radharani broke her kankan, her golden bangle. And she began to dig, and all the Sakhis broke their kankans. So that in the middle, you can look on YouTube and see, there's Kangan Kund or Kankan Kund, which both spellings are there. That's the original Kund, right in the very, you won't believe how far you see in YouTube, how far down, how many steps down before you get to that little Kund. And Krishna said, your Kund is very beautiful, but there's no water in it. And Radharani said, we're going to take gold and silver water pots and bring water from Manasi Ganga. As you may have passed by Manasi Ganga on the way here. One line of gopis coming, one line of going, and we're going to fill it with water from Manasi Ganga. But Krishna doesn't like to see the gopis doing any work. So he signaled to all the places personified. They became one person, and they came before Srimati Radhika, and they offered so many beautiful prayers. And she's a little suspicious because he came from Krishna's side. Says, what do you want? He said, we thought that the perfection of life was to be associated with the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. Because when Krishna bathed in all the kund, all the waters, he became purified, right? Yes? Huh? Nay? Huh? Nay. Niet. If you're from Russia. Niet. All the holy places became purified because Krishna bathed in them. But now, seeing your divine, wonderful qualities, we can understand the real perfection of life is to be associated with your lotus feet. So we went to come in your kund. And the Radharani smiled at Krishna, and she shook her head, and they broke a hole. If you see Radha Kund, you see underneath the stairs, you can see there's a hole between the two kunds. So although they're eternal, this is the pastime of appearance of Radha Kund and Shama Kund. So that you see the very end of your Prikrama, Radha Kund and Shama Kund. Most sacred place in the whole universe. Hare Krishna. So I'll let you go on your Prikrama. Because the longer you sit, then it becomes harder to get started again. Oh, everything starts creaking. Especially some of you aren't, some of you are nice and young like me, so everything creaks. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki. Oh, Giriraj Maharaj ki. So our little Brijbasi friend is here. Many Vishwasi Brahmins are all around us, so we can all leave some nice donation. And if
इसमें डाल
you feel be cool, hey,
इधर खुला है पूरा
okay, so you can go this way, the nice dusty, unless you want to walk on the nice hard road with all the cars and well, of course now they don't allow cars. We snuck in somehow with all the rickshaws. Beep beep. There's a nice dusty path here. You can go, whatever your authorities decide. Hare Krishna.
यहाँ पे दर्शन के लिए बोलते हैं ना अंदर मंदिर में
Yeah. Somehow they made.
नहीं भैया जो इच्छा हो